All right, we got some more word problems for you. First one says, find all sets of 4 consecutive integers whose sum is between 10 and 20. That between 10 and 20, that's going to be another combined inequality. First, let's look at 4 consecutive integers. This goes back to chapter 1. Remember when we said, x is our first integer. Consecutive is going to be the one after that. So that's going to be x plus 1. Now we need the number after that, but it's all in terms of x, so you want to add another one. So that's why I'm adding 2. Remember, it just adds 2 to the original, which is 1 more than this. And then we do need 1 more, x plus 3. So there's my 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive integers whose sum is between 10 and 20. So between 10 and 20 does not include the 10 and 20, so I'm going to say 10 is less than, we have to put the sum in there, and that is also going to be less than 20. So we are going to find the sum of these 4 consecutive integers, so if they were all added together, combine your like terms, here's an x, 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 and x, so that's 4 x's, and then 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. And we go ahead and we solve this for x. Subtract 6 from all 3 sections. 4 is less than 4x, which is less than 14. Then go back to the middle where x is and divide by 4. So we have 1 is less than x, which is less than 3.5. Alright, so if you remember, this x that we're figuring out, that is the first number up here. It looks totally messy right now. It's the first number of our consecutive integers. So, because they are integers, and they have to be between 1 and 3, or 1 and 3.5, excuse me, let me just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can't use the 1 because this inequality right here tells us x has to be greater than the 1. We can't use the 4 because it's telling us that x has to be less than 3.5. So our options are the 2 and the 3. And because x is equal to 2, remember that's the start of our consecutive integers. So list 4 consecutive integers starting with 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one possible set. 3 could also be x, so you start your 4 consecutive integers with 3. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's your 2 consecutive, or your 2 sets of integers, your 2 sets of 4 consecutive integers. Wow, this gets pretty wordy. Alright, well this one is kind of similar to the last one, so that's good. Hopefully it'll make a little bit of sense. Find all sets of 3 consecutive even integers whose sum is between 10 and 20. So first let's figure out how to represent 3 consecutive even integers. So our first even integer is going to be x. Now to get the next even integer, we have to add 2 to it. So now we have 2 even integers, and to get the one after that, we have to add another 2, which means it's going to be 4. So there's our 1, 2, 3 even integers. The sum is between 10 and 20, so 10 is less than the sum, which is less than 20. So we can see that the sum is going to be between 10 and 20. So now let's find the sum of those integers. Add the x's, you get 3x. Add the numbers, you get 6. And here's our inequality that we're going to solve. Subtract 6 gives us 4 is less than 3x, which is less than 14. Then we divide by 3. Remember, you're doing that in all 3 sections. Alright, so let's look at this. 4 divided by 3 is 1.3 repeating. I'll round it to the nearest tenth. Is less than x, which is less than 4.6 repeating, or let's say 4.7. So we're looking for integers between those two numbers. So 1.3, the next one, so here I'll just do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, the 1 does not work because it's too small. X has to be greater than 1.3. The 2 could work. That could be x, our first even integer. Now 3, could 3 be x? I mean, mathematically it seems like it should work, but remember we're talking even integers and 3 is not even, so we're going to cross that off of our possibilities. 4 is less than 4.7. It's also greater than 1.3, so 4 is a possibility, and 5 is too big because x has to be less than 4.7. So our sets of consecutive even integers, x could be a 2, so remember we saw this in the last one, but when you figure out what x is, you are finding the first even integer. So if that's your first one after 2, then you would have 4, then you would have 6. There's 3 consecutive even integers. 4 could be the first one, which means you would have 4, 6, and 10. Nope. Oh, did you guys catch it before I did? 4, 6, and 8. And those are, here's one possible set of integers and here's another possible set of integers.